Salah.
And that's the story of the weekend. Is a goal that comes directly out of PlayStation. You can't score that kind of goal if you're not holding a joystick. Story of Mo Salah and Liverpool over the weekend. It's a wonderful Monday morning, and we are back live. This is New Cincinnati Sports. I have the Oku with me live on the Brand Radio Scope and all the podcasts that you can think of. Like us, view us on the YouTube as well, New Cincinnati Sports. I'm going to introduce my co-host to you, starting with Oracle Koji.
Sports fans, another beautiful weekend to discuss sports. So many things happening. Napoli cannot seem to lose in Serie A. AC Milan right on their heels. I'm a very proud man. Stay tuned for a fantastic show.
All right, perfect. I got Mr. Manu with me today. Olawale.
Yeah, good day, everyone. Wherever you are listening to us around the world. It was a very good weekend of football. Watching City, Liverpool played over the weekend. It made me remember the El Clasicos from the early 2000s to pre-Mourinho era, when you see two big teams going for it. There no fear from either of the side, not one side trying to sit back. It was just how football should actually be played.
All right, perfect. I got Shay with me too. I call him a device side, anyways.
Hello, sport fans around the world. Welcome to this week's show. It has been quite an interesting weekend, especially for the top teams around the world, and also for Barcelona in particular. Hopefully, they pick up the pieces and start performing better.
All right, perfect. So we're gonna be jumping straight, but we have the review of the UEFA Champions League for you. We have the review of all the actions across Europe, and of course, we have some other sports news for you across the group. So we jump to the other sports. I know Kachi wanted me to talk about Ben Simmons. I said I'm not talking about Ben Simmons. I'm tired of talking about him. If I want to talk about the NBA, it should be a more controversial yet very sacrosanct issue to be dissected, and that's the case of the vaccination. We've heard it, we've seen it, we've perceived it, we've reconciled it, right, across the globe. It's a pandemic. It's a disease nobody wants, right? Not so bad, if you ask me, but of course, I've lost quite a number of people to the disease, so we should be more responsible as individuals. I don't know why some set of individuals in the NBA, and one of my favorite players, actually, unfortunately, Kyrie Irving, is leading this gang for club. We don't want it. And someone is saying it's based on religion because it's a Christian. I said that's not Christianity, that's some occultic Christianity, if you ask me. Nobody's asking you not to take the vaccine. I know it's a controversial thing, it's a controversial issue, and like most people know me, I'm not apologetic about my opinion. I feel it's irresponsible, it's gross negligence on the part of the players to put not just themselves at risk, but other people as well. Kachi, I'm going to start with you. I don't know if maybe I'm a little bit too harsh, but for me, I've lost quite a number of people to COVID-19. It doesn't make sense. Just take the goddamn vaccine, for crying out loud. It's not good to hurt you. I don't know if I'm wrong. Correct me if I am.
While people, and one of the benefits of living in the time we live in is the fact that people have a right to their opinion and also a right to do what they deem fit and best for them, and we ought to respect that. You're also right, and it's very okay to be really passionate about it, considering the amount and number of people, whether directly or indirectly, that have been affected by the effects of this pandemic globally. And my take really also mirrors yours. Maybe not in so much a passionate way as you have expressed it, but I sincerely believe that there has to be some form of compromise on the part of the NBA players. Headed by, we're saying Andrew Wiggins, we're saying Kyrie Irving, taking this stance that they will not get vaccinated, that they need to know more, which is respectable. But the issue now is you have to make a compromise, right? Like it's like a marriage, right? If you are being paid hundreds of millions of dollars to play a sport that you love, that most of you you say, oh, it's not a job, it's a hobby for me. Then you have to say, okay, what is the minimum price I will pay to continue to enjoy to do this thing? If it's to be vaccinated, I sincerely believe that they should. The good news is that as of the time we were recording of this show, the NBA has reported a 95% vaccination rate among the players, which means that majority of the players also share. So I think they will be able to put pressure, especially with the NBPA, the NBA Players Association, can exert pressure on these players and then get them to change their point of view. But my point, my take really is, yes, if you're going to play in the NBA, I think, and I sincerely agree with you, that you should be vaccinated.
All right, perfect. Olali, I don't know if you share the same sentiment or you feel.
Of course, I think I think I think Kachi has said all the right things concerning this case. Unfortunately, of course, I think going by the vaccination rate, it's very impressive. Like we have almost 95% of the players have been vaccinated, but the 5%, it's still a lot. By the time you put it into numbers, and if you look at the caliber, by the time you look at the caliber of the players involved, just like Kyrie Irving, when you have this kind of issue, I think sometimes you just allow your common sense to kick in. Yeah, to prevail, because whichever way you want to look at it, you've taken a lot of vaccination, even when you are not even aware, which have probably saved you from a lot, which have probably made you to be alive today. Exactly. Whichever way you want to look at it, the benefit of taking it outweighs whatever conspiracy theory or whatever thing you might think of that could be the detriment of taking it. Of course, if you go back in history, there have been some cases of some vaccine probably going wrong, but how many is that compared to the success rate that have been recorded with some other set of vaccine? I just think in the team sports, you have to be very responsible. You need to be less selfish.
Yeah.
And because for the teams involved now, whether I would like it or not, they are in a bit of disarray now. I'm telling you, if KD sanctioned the Brooklyn Nets to trade Kyrie tomorrow, and I'm telling you, they will trade Kyrie for what do you call it for Ben Simmons, because I'm sure the front office are a bit tired of his antics. Last season, he took some time off, for some reason known to him. So, and one way or the other, I think Brooklyn Nets are the most affected, because one of their biggest stars,
one of the biggest stars in the NBA is actually it's a wrong signal.
And it's actually unsettling the team.
Exactly, it's a wrong signal.
Yeah, so I just think the right thing to do,
just follow the protocol.
Consider the interest of teammates who have invested a lot of time, energy in what they believe could be a championship year.
Exactly.
And for you to start it.
Kachi, you wanted to add something?
Yes, it's just to buttress what Olawale has mentioned. Right now, what the Players Association agreed is that for unvaccinated players in cities like San Francisco, which will mean affecting the likes of Andrew Wiggins with the Warriors, or Kyrie Irving in New York, is that if they miss games at home, or whatever games they miss by virtue of being unvaccinated, they will not earn the money for that. So this is also a potential loss of revenue for these guys, even if they don't want to think of the selflessness and the fact that a decision rather on their path. They should also think of potentially missing 42 games, which would run into tens of millions of dollars. I think that should give them cause for everything. But yes, 5%.
They don't care. They don't care. Sheyi, I want to come to you now. We saw this pre-Joshua Alexandra Usyk match. People were not paying so much attention to Usyk. I was watching his preparation, his trainings and all, and I felt scared for Joshua. And my fear were not allayed by Joshua. Joshua was beating black and blue, you know. And I'm looking at the same thing, the same trend with Tyson Fury Wilder match. I'm seeing Wilder is looking focused. He's looking different, like a different animal. Are we expecting a possible upset? All the odds favors Tyson Fury, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win. Are we expecting an upset in this match, given what we are saying? You know, I'm scared for Tyson for his sake.
Okay, thank you very much, Debo. But for a start, let me start by saying whichever way the results goes, I don't think it's going to be an upset. From my point of view, okay. These are, I think both of them seems to be the most dangerous heavyweight boxers in that division at the moment. So I still think it can go either way. But apart from that, I've seen a lot of training videos regime from Wilder's part, which shows that he's really coming back for his revenge this time around. He's well focused. He's done everything that is there to be done. And but guess what? We've not seen much of training snippets and videos of Tyson Fury. Could that be that Tyson Fury is actually holding back something behind his pocket for this particular fight? we're going to find out.
That's a lovely angle.
And to be sincere, when they started the round for this particular bout, the trainer of Tyson Fury said something. He said Tyson has been able to beat Wilder twice, but there's something missing from Tyson's technicality. That's his ability to knock people out once, and that is what they're working on. So I think it's better for us to sit down and wait for these two real heavyweights to fight.
No.
I'm not going to say more than that.
That's disrespectful. You just said real heavyweights. What are you talking about? Are you dissing my brother? Are you dissing AJ?
No, please. Not really. But I think when you lose to a cruiserweight champion, and you've always been the heavyweight champion, you deserve that.
That's what again where I don't care for. So yeah, I'm gonna stay with you. Plant Canelo. Canelo, a couple of weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, actually gave Plant like a little whooping, so to speak, when he actually in their pre-match matchup. And he spoke about Canelo's mom, and Canelo went all crazy, and there was weaving and a little bit of jab that gave Plant a black eye. What are we expecting? This is a very good preview for this anticipated match. I feel Canelo will win, but I don't know. You know better than me, so your view.
Not really, Debo. But let me just put in my little bit for this particular bout. I think, Mexicans, not all of them actually understand English and all this. And you have to be very careful when you're using slangs and all that. So during the promotion, I think Caleb Plant mentioned something like mother. And of course, it's almost like a slang in that area of the country. But a Mexican that really doesn't understand English quite well and heard something like mother, you could actually turn into something else. And that sparked that
Canilo's head.
small cameo. That's more, about for us, which was
Exactly.
quite lovely. But to be sincere, technically, I think both fighters are very good technically. I think Canelo is better because I think he has a more firepower than Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant's southpaw, he moves very well, and he actually has fast hands, and that's what earned him his nickname, Sweet Hands. But I think Canelo is a very patient fighter. Is going to pick his time, pick his slots. I think I'm going to lean towards Canelo especially with what just happened. I think Canelo is going to come for like something like a revenge.
Okay, all right, perfect. I'm with Canelo anyways. Terence Sean game match is coming up sometime in November, I believe. Now, of course, Tom Brady returns home. Kachi, over to you.
Yes, after winning 20 years and 6 Super Bowls later, Tom Brady left the Patriots for Tampa Bay and won the 7th ring while the Patriots barely made the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
he returns this time around to face his darling team, the team that made him. But it's shaping up to be a very a return that will be filled with some form of animosity, especially with the release of a book by Seth Wickerman recently that detailed how the relationship between Tom Brady and Belichick deteriorated since 2017. As much as Brady coming out to say he hated playing for Belichick as at that time.
Oh, wow.
The fact that the owner, Robert Kraft, also called Belichick an idiot servant, so a lot of bad blood. But it's going to be a visit that we're all looking forward to, because that might be the day that Tom Brady would overtake Drew Brees and hold the record for the most passing yards in history, in NFL history. To let you know how the relationship is now, when Drew Brees got the record, they stopped the game and allowed his family come to the pitch to take pictures and celebrate the moment. The Patriots have said, should Tom Brady, who needs only 69 passing yards to break the record, should he break the record, they are not going to celebrate it. That is to show you it will be. But it's going to be a great game between the Bucs and the Patriots. Brady coming back home. We'll give you all the details at our next event.
All right, perfect. And just a little bit from the tennis world before we go on a short break and dive straight into the review of the Champions League. COVID-19 forced Sabalenka out of the Indian Wells tournament in the US. That's just going to show you there's still COVID-19. We'll go on a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll be coming back with the review of the Champions League. Disastrous outing by Chelsea. A Navi win by Manchester United. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Yeah, well, so we're back now, and we'll be starting from Old Trafford. Everybody seems to be appreciating what Ronaldo did. Jesse Lingard last time out against when the schoolboys played the young boys, gave a perfect assist to the young boys. But on the night, he laid a perfect assist for Cristiano Ronaldo, and Cavani was solid all night long. A wonderful football, a wonderful game of football. Ronaldo did not play very well, but according to a text that he sent to Ferdinand after the game, he said, I knew I was going to score. I knew I was not playing well. Your overall thought on this game and the fact that the GOAT did it again at Old Trafford, Kashi?
My overall thought is, well, count Ronaldo out at your own peril. It's the Champions League. Ronaldo definitely is made for the moment. He's it. This was the night that he became the most capped player in Champions League history. He currently holds the record for most appearances, most goals, most assists, and most, so is built for the moment. However, what Ronaldo did basically masked the issues underlying Man United's performance. And we've seen this performance both at the league and also in the Champions League. Villarreal should have been home and dry.
Yeah.
It took heroics of De Gea keeping Man U in the game.
100%.
The young Danjuma of who has Nigerian roots, I must mention that. He tormented that back line. Dalot suffered severely against and now Danjuma throughout. De Gea kept making save after save.
Yeah.
Man U was totally pedestrian. It took the goal from Villarreal for Man U to sort of wake up, and it's garbage time has always been Man U's time from history, from Sir Alex. So I guess it drew inspiration from Sir Alex being on the pitch
in the stadium.
In the stadium on that day, and they said, "Okay, you know what? This is our time.
Let's do it for Sir."
It was an amazing presence of mind by the young man. I kind of forgot his name. Right there, just Lingard. To know Ronaldo was lurking behind him. Ronaldo didn't hit it it wasn't the sweetest shot. He just framed under the goalkeeper. But a win is a win. They needed to be up and running. But Man U, they need something.
Okay. I'll finish that all for you. But they still have Vologun social DMs of affair. Olale, I'm going to come to you now. We thought it's going to be an home and dry game for Chelsea against Juventus. I keep saying it. I know it's an unpopular statement, but really, I'm unapologetic about my opinion. I feel Thomas Tuchel is doing a lot of things wrong at Chelsea. I feel personally, I don't want to come out castigating him when they start losing. I don't want to do that. I want to start right now. You don't have that arsenal of young talent, flair talents, and keep playing like Greeks. Like you have a midfield of Michael Essien, Makalele, Mikel Obi, Michael Ballack, and Frank Lampard. You play with flair, and we don't see that against Juventus. We've not seen it all season long. We did not see it even last season. They were missing Lukaku. Fine, we give him that. But this is a team that has Akaziyek playing Ziyech behind strikers as against playing him on the wings, flanking Lukaku. I don't subscribe to this. Personally, I don't know what your opinion is. But the overall thoughts, the tactics of Tuchel, most especially, and overall thoughts of the game between Juventus and Chelsea.
Yeah, I think surprisingly on the night, Chelsea edged the possession, but that didn't say much about how they were a bit pedestrian, predictable, not too much of pace in attack. And like I think I've said this a couple of times on the show that I still think Lukaku seems to be isolated up front. The service to him is not really forthcoming, and it was very obvious in this Juventus game against a very organized side who actually knew what they actually planned for this game. They neutralized everything about Chelsea. And I think why it was very easy for them to do was because so far so good this season. Like you made mention, I still think the attack has not really gelled well. They don't create enough chances, quality chances. Yeah, enough quality chances. And I think that has to do with it a bit with the mix in that attack. When you play a three, like you've always said, 3-5-2, whichever you want to, or 3-4-3, is like an advanced defensive game.
Exactly.
And for you to get it right, I think you need to have something like what you need to have a very creative number 10 and two very mobile forward, and which is what Chelsea is missing. Even with Mason Mount, it gives you that kind of solidity in midfield. But when it comes to creating chances, those guys around Lukaku doesn't do enough. And probably you need to stretch that front three a bit, just like what Conte did in those days, whereby you see Hazard, and Pedro or
Yeah,
Hazard
or
and
William.
William flanking Diego Costa,
Uh-huh.
making it a bit of fear in that front three. I think it needs more of that. It needs. I probably Pulisic injury has not really helped matters, but even with Pulisic, I still don't think he has that gut enough to probably rotate or bench Mason Mount. It's a team that we look, every one of us are guilty of this. We thought they were very good, but I think looking at it again, a couple of games,
They are
the past three games,
they are very good on paper.
They look like a team that will struggle a lot. They are going to draw a lot of games. And you could see Lukaku being frustrated in some matches, trying to point to where he expected the balls to come to, and the guys they don't get him balls in those areas. I think they are a team with a bit of deficiency, which might really affect them during the season.
I feel Olale, I feel strongly that he has all the players to get him the creativity that he needs. He just needs to get it right. I don't know. I don't feel.
Yeah, they must see.
I don't feel playing.
I think one more. Let me just add on two things now.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the Chelsea, I think we've spoken about this. Individually, when you look at that Chelsea defense, probably if they go 4-4-2, a player like Rudiger might probably struggle in a 4-4-2 in a two center back. I think the defense is actually built for a 3-man defense.
Oh.
If you go 4-4-2, they will struggle. So that's to create the balance now.
Oh,
I think that was the problem Frank Lampard had last season. He doesn't know how to strike the balance. So, but let's see how. I'm sure he must have been concerned with the performance against City last week and how easily it was for Juventus to curtail them. And against Southampton even this weekend,
yeah, they were lucky.
Or even for the red card, it could have been a different ball game.
Exactly. I feel on paper, I feel Chelsea is still the favorite for the league and every other competition they are in right now. But do it the right way. That's just my own saying. Sheyi, I'm gonna come to you right now. Benfica 3-0 against Barcelona. Benfica is one of the worst teams I know in Europe. They are one of the worst teams I know in Europe. I know the kind of quality they have. A team that have Tavares as like their number one go-to guy in the team. A team that still play Otamendi in the center of the defense. I don't know. Barcelona 3-0. It's I don't know. It's a calamity, so to speak. I don't know if you agree with me, but for me, it's a calamity.
Totally. I have to agree with you 100%. We've mentioned the issues with Barcelona, I think week in, week out, about the way they've been playing this season. And it's I think that the particular game actually came to me as a shock, because I think after losing your first match to Bayern Munich, which one way or the other, I think we expected that. We know that Barcelona, they are weak this time around. They really don't stand a chance against Bayern Munich, but not against Benfica. They held more of the possession, yes, but they were really lackluster in creating the chances they need to take to really score and take the game out of Benfica's hand. And at the end of the day, they also considered to a red card, which totally now messed up everything for them.
But
going forward,
Benfica.
Going forward, I think Ronald Koeman needs to do quite a lot of things about this Barcelona team. He needs to agree to a pattern of play. If he wants to go ahead with Luke de Jong and get people that will move forward and get the crosses to him, he needs to do that. And if he wants to play with Memphis Depay, Ansu Fati, having the likes of Pedro in midfield to create for them, then he needs to know what he wants to do. We still have the likes of Jordi Alba in defense that moves like a moving train when it comes to attacking from the left. So I really cannot understand the problem of Koeman at the moment. It's
Okay,
not really that it doesn't have
I'll
to-
tell you the problem of Coman. The problem
Yes.
of Coman is crossing. He wants to cross on the ball. Kachi, I'm going to come to you now. Bayern defeated Dynamo Kiev 5-0. I'm sorry about that, Ronald Koeman, if you're listening. 5-0 against Dynamo Kiev. But the shock result was Sheriff versus Real Madrid at home. And that was a fantastic second goal, if you ask me.
Yes, and Madrid is unraveling. We saw this last year. I think somehow, because the bulk of the guys currently in Madrid, at least who make up the nucleus of this current Madrid team, have seen and done and won it all, it's becoming very difficult to get them motivated for the group stage games. And unfortunately for them, expecting that, oh, by the time the knockout stages come, we'll be mentally ready, it becomes an uphill task, because then they end up finishing second in their group or whatever, and then they have to face the really big boys. This was a statement win by Sheriff. When we did the analysis, one of our co-hosts, Olayinka, almost bet his house that Madrid would win this. He would have been homeless now. So we're pretty grateful he did not. Sheriff currently tops the table with six points from 6. It's a massive win, but I think it's now cause for the Madrid players to start to take the tournament serious. Yes, you might be Europe, but at the beginning of each season, things start back from zero. Now they need to lose their fear factor. Club Brugge, I think, did it 2 seasons ago. I think it was or Shakhtar who also did it last year. I think that there is no more that air of invincibility with Madrid. We'll be reviewing the La Liga also, but what happened midweek filtered through to the weekend. It tells me now that there is cause for alarm. The white side of Madrid.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Kachi. Now, of course, Liverpool walloped Porto 5-1 away from home. Milan were robbed, daylight robbery against Atletico Madrid. 2-1 he ended in favor of Atletico with that dubious penalty that was converted by, correct me if I'm wrong, Luis Suarez. And I don't know if Olali want to talk about that, but the game I want to talk about is PSG versus City. 2-0 he ended. Lionel Messi coming back, scoring the first PSG goal as well. Your overall total, Olali, with the PSG.
I think
City.
PSG City. Wow, good win for PSG, but overall, not really convinced about their performance. I think City were a bit unlucky not to probably get a draw from the game. And on the part of City, I think that's one of the game where you look at it and you see probably they could have, if they have a proper striker, things could have been different from for them. But good win for PSG. It's good to see Messi scoring his first goal for the club. A typical Messi goal. He did all the good job, did the driving, late and took his goal very well. But I think City were a bit unlucky not to probably get a draw in that game.
Yeah, that's what you get when you're not careful. Like my friend would say, that's what you get when you are not careful. And of course, Shakhtar Donetsk had a new draw. Like Olala said, Olala predicted that it was going to be a new draw. It was going to be a draw. He never said new, but he said it was going to be a draw. It came out to be a draw against Inter Milan. Inter Milan might eventually go to Europa Conference League, not the Europa Cup, guys. Don't make that mistake. with the race that they are going right now, I don't mind, because that means if they go, the chances of Spurs winning the Europa Conference League will go slimmer, and that means Spurs will not win a trophy in how many years? That'll be 14 years actually. That's what I thought. And of course, Ajax defeated Besiktas 2-0. He ended, and BFB Dortmund, the black and yellow boys, defeated Sporting Lisbon 1-0. Sporting Lisbon is getting a very good, giving a very good account of themselves as the whooping boys of the group. And of course, would be okay. Just before we go and we dive into the leagues across Europe, Kachi, I'm going to come to you. How do you feel with the game between Milan and Atletico Madrid? I feel Milan was so unlucky. I feel the red card was not a red card for me, especially the second yellow card. I don't feel it's deserving of a yellow card. The penalty, everything just looks like the word is against Milan, if you ask me.
Yeah, Devon, and thanks for letting us segue to this. If you remember clearly in our private group chats, I was sending out live information to the group about how I felt. I thought that Milan put themselves in that position in the first place for these things to happen. When we did the preview of this game, of the season itself, I mentioned how all but 2 players in the current Milan squad have tasted Champions League action before. That inexperience came to bear in the game. Even when they went a man down due to a Frank Kessie error in my part. Yes, the second yellow card was undeserved, but he put himself in the position to get a second yellow card by getting the first one so early in the game. Their inexperience showed. A more experienced team would know that playing with 10 men, you probably have to not only change your formation, but be a bit more sturdy in defense. And then I have to say that I will be very disappointed if on match day 3, I see the entire set of officials who officiated that game. They have to be punished, because how natural do you want Kalulu's hands to be
exactly,
so that the ball bounced off? I can't remember the Atletico player, but it bounced off one Atletico player's arm to Kalulu's hands. So them, even VAR agreeing that should be a penalty was a disgrace. This puts Milan's chance to qualify in serious jeopardy. If they do it, even if they win the rest of their home games, that's just 6 points. They have to still hope that Atletico falters at some point. So pretty disappointing. I'm speaking with my emotions here, but the analyst in me also tells me that UEFA they will do so well as to make sure those set of officials do not officiate at least one game in match day 3.
Or more. All right, perfect. So we'll be jumping straight to England right now. And we'll be starting with, we'll go back to Old Trafford, I believe, where United continue their sensation. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer benching Ronaldo, and everybody feels that deserves so everybody feels he deserves a sack by starting Ronaldo on the bench. I feel Ronaldo starting on the bench is not a big deal. I feel the substitutions came on very early. You were leading 1-0. Why do you have to bring on Ronaldo and Sancho? For Antonio Martial, the goal scorer, and Cavani that was pressing high. For me, that does not make sense. That actually puts him in a form of jeopardy. And of course, we've talked about it over and over and over again. Fred did what Fred knows how to do best. Missing 2 tackles for the Everton equalizer. And when Agriv actually said something, he said, Alex Ferguson will not forgive that. You are not going to pay for 1 whole month if you do that under Alex Ferguson. I'm going to start with you. I don't, as much as I'm harsh on coaches, I'm not when it comes to the Gunnar Solskjaer for reason best known to me. But for the game on Saturday, I feel Solskjaer actually defeated himself. Because for me, it's 2 points lost. Olari.
Yes. Yes. I think, like you said, benching Ronaldo, I don't think is the issue. Because to be frank with ourselves, going to this season, I don't think Ronaldo was in the United plan going into the season. It was just a transfer that probably came from nowhere. So I don't think Ronaldo being on the bench is a problem. But I think this is the issue. That bad results the process of that bad result probably started from the press conference where Solskjaer was asked about should Ronaldo be starting every game. I think that got to his head. He tried to probably play the boss game like he is in control of the whole thing. I think that was the reason why he quickly took that decision. Like, okay, I can start with that. Because, of course, if you look at this international break, I don't understand why he put him up. But being on the bench is not the problem. I think we don't need to overflog the United issue. It's a team that is not balanced. See, when Jurgen Klopp took over Liverpool, you could see the changes, the signings. The Liverpool team was not balanced too.
Yeah.
That midfield needs an OD midfielder, which they don't have. He bought in Fabinho to stabilize the midfield. Somebody, and that allowed them to play a 4-3-3 formation.
Yeah.
That's the same thing City adopts. They have a Rodrigo. It allows them to play a 4-3-3 formation because these are guys who are disciplined in terms of positioning, in possession, keeping it simple. Keeping it simple. This is what these guys do. And you could say signings that he made. He made signings that were very, very key to the team, what they needed, and he was able to establish his own pattern of how they want to play. I think this is the struggle with Ole.
I have to cut you short there. It's not only that says Fred should not be able to mark. That's disaster. Like
no, but that is not the problem.
Sometimes
the problem is the fact that
the players don't do it well.
The problem, the question, wait. The question is this: I don't think if I'm a United coach, Fred will be anywhere near my team. I've said it over and over again in this either here on in our WhatsApp group that one of the reasons why United concede a lot of goals is because they lose possession at the very wrong place easily. They are not tidy, which Fred is. We've said it. You have a Donny van de Beek. See, what big coaches do is even when they have an unbalanced team, I don't think Donny is that bad for him not to be seeing regular meeting in that United squad. Exactly. Donny might not give you that marking, but one thing I should appreciate is a Dutch footballer, and you have to appreciate their their football education.
Yeah.
If you want Donny to play in the to play the two pivots role, what does he call it? Those two defensive midfield or two CM roles.
Yeah.
I think he can do it and will do it better. It will create more attacking outlets. Against Villarreal, United were lucky. So you could 100%. See it. I don't think I can point out to a game this season that you could say, wow, vintage United. No, everything has come down to...
No, against Leeds United, you guys are vintage. Against Leeds, the first day.
It has always come down to
Bruno Fernandes
individual brilliance, all those things. So I don't want to overflow the issue. I just think this is a problem that United fans should learn to live with, because I don't see Solskjaer going anywhere soon until it is mathematically impossible for United to make the Champions League again.
All right, perfect. Here I'm going to come to you now. Chelsea versus Southampton. Whatever it is that what Prowse was thinking, I don't want to think like that. At the front of the opponent's box 18, Bataku nearly broke Jorginho's leg, put his team into a compromising situation, and they left Stamford Bridge with no points. 3-1 ended, but it could have been different for them actually. Your overall thought on the match?
Yes, I really have to start by saying I was disappointed in Ward-Prowse, yeah, because I think he is one of their outstanding players. Apart from that, he's a leader in the team, and I think it should be one of the people that will lose his head in a game, especially a game that you guys are already back in the game. And the way they played, they really closed down the Chelsea team very well, apart from some few offsides and some few VAR decision that actually was in their way, which are justified, right? So I think that was actually the point that the match definitely changed towards Chelsea's
side, yeah.
dominance. They really showed that even the issues in Chelsea's match during the Champions League over in the midweek, also a little bit of it we could see it because we can see their transition. They had a little bit of issues, maybe because when I was playing though. But I think Southampton actually gave away 2 points back to Chelsea in that particular match. If I need to talk about Chelsea, like Olawale said earlier, I think the structure that Tuchel uses is to press from the back. Maybe if he changes that and press from midfield, probably we'll see a different Chelsea. That will give them the opportunity to create better chances for Lukaku. But if they press from the back, I think it's unless they're able to get the ball as fast as possible to the likes of Jorginho to make a straight pass to Lukaku, maybe we might see a different thing. Also, their wing backs are quite of overlapping one. I think that's another creating aspect for them. If they can get it right, then maybe Lukaku will get more chances from the wings, from Azpilicueta and maybe Alonso or Chilwell.
I hope TT is actually listening because I want to see attacking football when you have that worth of experience. I don't want you with Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Ziyech, Mason Mount, and you're playing as if you are Makalele and Mikelubi. And of course, Leeds United played they won against Watford. Thankfully, Llorente scoring the goal. Maybe Leeds will get over and done with now from their older beats. I know Kachi will not agree with me anyways, but I'm open. I love Leeds United. Wolverhampton, thanks to Hangwan Lee. Sorry about that. I really broke my teeth. I'm sorry. Hangwan Lee, thank you very much. Won against Newcastle 2-1 in there. He ended. Arsenal were lucky to get a point away to Brighton and Hove at their stadium. Lovely classic game. Arsenal were very lethargic. They were not. They were off rhythm and off color. Not the Arsenal that we saw last week against Spurs. Definitely, they were lucky. And of course, Spurs. Thankfully, all thanks to the inspiration of Son, won against Aston Villa 2-1. West Ham United lost at home against Brentford 2-1. He ended in favor of West Ham. And of course, now everybody, maybe you won't blame us now so much again that we lost against Brentford. Brentford. I'm looking forward to the Brentford match against United. Kachi, I know you want to say something. Go ahead, please.
I actually don't. If it's between Arsenal and Brentford, I don't. I think we should give credit to Brentford on how they set themselves up. During our production call, she rightly pointed out that one thing working for Brentford, apart from the unknown factor, is the fact that the team rarely concedes. And one way to make sure that you stand a good chance to win any football game is to limit how much goals you concede. Right? Brentford is showing that what they did on match day 1 was no longer not a fluke. They got a result against Liverpool last week. They got a result this time around. And it bodes well for them. My fear, I think they will stay up this season. My fear is that they do not do the Sheffield United second season dip, but maybe too far ahead. But the reason why I'm afraid is it's the league. It's a capitalist world. The likes of Buemo, the likes of Wissa, who got the goal as well. I'm afraid that their team will be depleted the way Bayern Munich depletes team in Germany, and then they will struggle to stay up. But amazing victory for Brentford. What an amazing Cinderella story we're seeing.
All right, perfect, Kachi. Just hold on. I'm going to start with you. I'm going to ask you guys about this game. This is the best game. This tie has never, since Pep and Klopp got to their respective clubs, it has never disappointed me. It's always a terrific game, whether it's in the Champions League, it's a Carabao match, FA Cup, or the league. These guys have always come out to play very well. I know I said it a couple of weeks back that Mo Salah is the most underrated player in the whole of Europe. And the commentator actually backed me up. He said that goal can only be scored by Lionel Messi. And Klopp came out to say, if it's Ronaldo or Messi, the press will say, oh, that's a world-class goal. But of course, it's Mo Salah. He's a world-class player as well. But your overall thought of the game, tantalizing game, dished out, high-paced, high intensity, very, very cerebral game, played on the bench and on the pitch.
And you're so right, Debo. While this game or this fixture may lack the physical brawl that the old games between Man United and Arsenal used to have, and I'm talking of brawl outside the field of play. If you remember Pizzagate, if you remember the old fisticuffs, it has never lacked intensity on the field of play. Each time, it's almost like a Liverpool AC Milan game in the Champions League. You always know there is drama. They may be friends. I mean, you rarely see coaches hug each other out at the end.
Games. Exactly.
Set themselves up, and I think Wale mentioned it earlier, with clear ideology and identity on how they want to play football. You see the imprints of the coaches on the players. You see the effect of substitutions they make as well.
Exactly.
It was a great goal by Mo Salah, but I thought all 4 goals on the night were well-taken goals, first by Mane, also by Phil Foden and the evergreen Kevin De Bruyne. I guess Fabinho could have won it at the dead, very late for Liverpool, but 2-2 draws him to be a fair result.
A fair result.
Night. Neutrals like us, we were salivating, we wanted more. Maybe interesting games like that should be given extra time. I'm just thinking. But you are right to say those 2 teams never fail to serve up a classic whenever they play, and long may it continue.
All right, perfect. Olali, I'm going to come to you now. A red card for James Milner. Somehow the coach, the referee turned a blind eye to it. That could have changed the pattern of the game. That was before Mo Salah scored the second goal for Liverpool. That could have changed everything in the game. And Pep Guardiola was rightly upset about that.
It was a red card every day.
Go ahead, Olali. I can hear you. Olali is saying it's a red card all day, every day.
It's all day, every day, Monday to Sunday. I think Liverpool were lucky to get away with that, and you could see the frustration from Guardiola on the bench. Kachi has said everything about the game, but I think I have some things. I would like to say some key things that I think happened from the game. Yes, from what I learned from the game. I think this game reestablished the fact that Liverpool and Man City still remain the 2 best teams in the country. I think I have to change my mind now. The only reason I will not put Liverpool as a title, the only reason why I will not put Liverpool as probably a title favorite is because of the African Nations Cup happening. Title contender is because of the African Nations Cup happening in January. I think Bernardo Silva is better playing in the middle of the park than on the right side. He influences the game better because of his crafty, he's smart, he's intelligent. He could do a lot with the ball. It was a thorn in the flesh on the Liverpool side throughout the day. I think playing him on the right side, because it's not pacey, I think it tends to limit him. With Gundogan injury, we could see him more in the. We've seen him more in the middle of the park, and we could see how he could influence the game a lot. I think Grealish, it became very obvious in today's game that Grealish is a luxury buy. City don't need him. Foden taking that left side position in virtually throughout the game made Grealish look very, very I don't
pedestrian.
know.
It made him look pedestrian.
Pedestrian because it was forced to take the first 9 rule, and it couldn't probably influence the game anyhow. And if I'm to tell you, I think I would take Foden all day on that left side ahead of Grealish with what I saw today.
Mhm.
And we could see Sterling. You could see the Sterling's impact when he came
When
in.
he came in,
He gave
exactly.
them a different direction.
Mhm.
Sterling is not my favorite player, but I think when it comes to production and what City needs, I still think Sterling is more valuable to that team than Grealish. I'm not saying he's a better player. If you could get it, like if you ask me, Liverpool were lucky to see Mina on the pitch. That would like be a red card all day, all night. And we enjoy a lot of good football today. We see ballers showing what football's supposed to be, was supposed to look like.
Exactly.
And I think 2-2 is a fair result.
Exactly. And I hope Thomas Tuchel is actually watching and learning how to play good brand of football. Olale, I said Olale, Sheyi, I'm going to come to you now. I want you to have your own piece of this game because I had my own piece. I love the match. Mane, Mane and Salah looks in a different, in a world of their own. But the block by Rodri for that goal bound play by Fabinho, Max, it could have been a difference in the match as well. Your overall thought on the match?
Yeah.
And your own key moments.
Yeah, I think that could have. Yeah, I think that could have actually made. It could have given Liverpool the game, though I felt Man City were the better team overall. In the first half, Man City could have been like almost 2 goals ahead.
Exactly.
But I think Liverpool were quite lucky in the first half. And second half, Liverpool a little bit better. But like you rightly mentioned, there could have been one man down because of Milner's challenge during during the game. But overall, I think it was a fantastic game of football. Perfect game for a top English Premiership league.
The way football should be played.
The way football should be played. And I think when I watch that kind of game, I think that's the way we should see the likes of Manchester United play. Because we are talking about quality, that's a team that also portrays that type of quality. But unfortunately, we've not been seeing such.
Unfortunately,
Chelsea also close to that in terms of personnel, but we've not been seeing fluidity in the team so far. And like Olawale said, I think those two teams are the best in the league and close to the best in Europe.
Let's be sincere. The best team in Europe right now are from England. Right now, the top 4 teams in England looks like the best in Europe.
They are some of the best teams in Europe
from Bayern Munich, I think.
England, but the best team in Europe right now is in Germany, please.
Bayern Munich, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think Bayern are the best team in Europe, but I think the gap between Bayern, Man City, and Liverpool is very, very minimal. It's not something that is very wide that you could say, yeah, it's this. Yeah, but I think there's something about that Bayern team I've seen so far that makes them look like. But I don't think there's a huge gap between them. It's very tiny. It's if you go to like a best of 5, I think either against City it could be 3-2 to either team. So it's not that like what would I call it?
I'd like to get your take, Olawale, on what is happening in La Liga right now. We knew Barcelona were going to struggle and it was going to be growing pains. But maybe I speak for myself, but you may let me know what you think. But I never expected the issue to be as deep, wide-ranging as it is like right now. So consecutive 3-0 losses in the Champions League and a whitewash Atletico Madrid over the weekend. Luis Suarez also getting among the goals, as well as Thomas Lemar. You want to tell me what you feel is happening, is wrong right now with Barcelona, and what you think is the way forward?
After they lost to Benfica in the middle of the week, I felt they were not as bad as the results made them look. I think they had their spells. If they could have taken their chances, it could have been probably better. They could have probably got a better result. But going to Atletico game, I think Atletico up to this time have had their own struggles too. In fact, against AC Milan, they were very lucky that game. So I was expecting Barcelona probably to come up with something very challenging. But again, my major problem with the team is off the ball. When they don't have the ball, they are just too vulnerable, very easy to break down. You saw the two Atletico goals, the way they penetrated their Barcelona defense through the middle. An Atletico team that have been struggling to create chances, could create quality chances going through the middle, not through the flanks, not by putting cross into the box. So, and Barcelona still had their own fair share of chances yesterday, but they couldn't play against right now. And that is what the coach needs to sort out. The moment you become very easy to play against, the moment when you don't have the ball as a team, you are very vulnerable. It's a very big issue. I think that was the problem with Arsenal towards the end of Arsene Wenger days. When they don't have the ball, they just don't know what to do. And I think that's one of the problems Barcelona is facing now. They have their challenge up front, but I think in the last two games, they had their fair chances where they could have probably making one or two goals against Benfica and Atletico Madrid. But I just think without the ball, they are just too vulnerable.
Well, and I tend to agree with you, Olawale. And to add insult to injury, we understand that right now there's rancor between the coach, Ronald Koeman, and the senior players in the Barcelona team, specifically with Gerard Piqué and Jordi Alba. I think that spells doom for him, because once he loses the support of those guys, like you said, I can't remember if it was you or Sheyi who mentioned it during our production call, that the only reason Ronald Koeman still remains as the Barcelona's coach is because Barcelona is broke. But we never know what may happen.
Kaichi,
they will structure a severance package. Don't worry, Kaichi.
I know, Kaichi, when you look at it, if you have a Pedri and you have a Frankie de Jong, those were probably two of the most exciting young midfielders in the world. I think you should be able to probably figure out something better than what we are seeing. I think the coach needs to look at how Sergio Busquets and Frankie de Jong fit in together. Those are the questions I think they need to ask. If they actually fit in together, fine. How do you get all of them, both of them playing how do you get both of them play together to the benefit of the team? I just think, as a team, in terms of the individuals, I don't think they are as bad as what they are producing. They are not a great side. If they are losing 3-0 to Bayern, I might not make any issue with it. But I think they still have enough talent to produce something better against Benfica, not to lose easily to Atletico Madrid, and probably to earn better results in the La Liga than what we've seen up till now.
Lale, if you ask me, I'm going to be calling Arteta for that job. Arteta is from La Masia, right? I'll call Arteta for the job. I'll just give Xavi. Xavi is going to probably take $1 million every year, or €1 million every year to take that job. They're probably going to do a better job than what we see right now from Ronald Koeman. That's just the obvious truth. But that's my opinion, and I'm not apologetic about it. Anyways, let's move to France, where Pochettino, who happens to be Kati's favorite guy, lost against Rennes 2-0. A team that parades, it beats my imagination. A team that parades Kylian Mbappe, that parades Lionel Messi, Neymar, and Angel Di Maria. That's 4 world-class forwards. They cannot even muster a shot at target. A shot, just one for 90 minutes against the Rennes in the Farmers League. I don't know how long Poch will be able to keep his job with this, because realistically, we are not expecting. It's not a call for a sack. This is the first loss since the start of the season. It's the 8th game. They've won 7, 21 points, sitting comfortably at top of the French league. But nobody brought in Pochettino to win the French league. If they wanted the French league, they would have kept Thomas Tuchel, right? So for me, it's a cause for alarm if we cannot find the right fix as soon as possible. And of course, Bayern Munich lost against Eintracht Frankfurt as well. So that's a surprising one. 2-1. Marseille can't stop losing. They lost against Lille, 2-0 as well. And over to Italy, Milan is doing the big boss right now. Held on from 3-0 up. Atlanta scored 2 goals. They ended the game 3-2 in favor of Milan. Napoli won 2-1. Unfortunately, Victor Osimhen did not score last night. 2-1 as well. Inter Milan defeated Sassuolo. Since they are only familiar with the Italian league, they won finally 2-1 as well. And of course, Juventus won the Turin derby 1-0. Looks like Juventus are coming back into the fray. But before we go today, I just want to ask one question. Michael Owen came out to say, looks like every English player is currently overpriced. We should be seeing a Jack Grealish for probably 40 million pounds. Jadon Sancho for maybe 30 million pounds. But these guys, they were bought for luxurious money or exorbitant money. And we see that, and we see the production. You can't equate that to the value placed on these guys, right? Even the market value for them have dropped significantly. Do you agree with Owen, Kachi?
Always. I mean, it's not just in football. Anything that comes that is British, the British press has known how to overhype it. We saw that with Anthony Joshua in boxing. I mean, they kept
and the Murray in tennis.
And the Murray in tennis. Thank you so very much for people taking me to tennis. It's always been a British thing. I thought Jack Grealish was overpriced. And by the virtue of buying Grealish, Man City lost out on Messi. That money was wasted on Grealish. Grealish at most is a 30 million player. 100%. He falls once anybody's shadow comes to him, not even a tackle. On the game against Liverpool, we saw the difference between Phil Foden and Jack Grealish. For Jadon Sancho, the same thing. Sancho at best should be a 20-25 million pound player, but 80 million pounds. Because and apologies to those of you who are not of Nigerian origin. My friend says, Man U, they have what they call Owo Nuora, or whatever that means. It just means they have too much money that
they don't know how to spend it.
But yeah, not just Man U, not just Man City. Most even I don't know how much Arsenal paid for Ramsdale.
Exactly. Ben White for 50 million pounds.
Exactly my point. So I definitely agree they're overpriced. Michael Owen should know. He was so hyped that Real Madrid spent so much to buy him. And after one season, he came.
No, Kachi, I think Michael Owen, it's a different.
Don't let's go into that. But if Michael Owen is overhyped.
No. Michael Owen is overhyped. Michael Owen was a former
European. Yes. For me, Michael Owen was a Ballon d'Or winner when they bought him.
Even Pavel Nedved won Ballon d'Or.
But these are great players. It doesn't matter. See,
I heard of theory already. Please, no, I don't want to go into that discussion right now. I want us to focus on whether they are hyped or not. Yes or no. 20 seconds for you, Lale.
Now, this is the issue.
Now.
I think this is not something new. I think the only thing new is we are seeing somebody who is of English origins clearly saying it the way it's supposed to be. It is not. I think when Wenger came in, I think that was the reason why Wenger probably went for those French players of those days, Jeremy Alade, the Watford, Sylvia Wilford, because you could actually get cheaper players abroad than the
Than
English
from-
players. But
from
somebody tried to give me the justification for it, that because probably of the quota system now, that you need to have a certain number of English
Yeah,
players in
yeah.
your school.
That's always been there. But if you have a good
Now-
academy, you
Now
can actually do that.
probably it makes them now a bit more valuable, which I don't. But I think it's an English thing, just like Kachi said,
It's just like
in
that.
every walks of life, not even sports alone. And that
It's
is
just
why
like that.
probably some of
She-
their top. I think.
Shay, do you
let me-
agree with Olale as well?
Neighbor, please let me just finish something. I think, and that is the reason why some of their exceptional talents or some of their very good talents have not been well appreciated the way they should be appreciated, because we tend to look at them as
It's
it's
English.
English. Exactly.
Olale, Shay, do you agree with Olale as well?
Okay, I think I agree, but I think what Owen was trying to say is that the price tag is actually affecting those guys. Living up to the price tag has now become an issue
An
for
issue
those
for the
players.
guys. Yeah. True that. I agree with you. And that will be wrap, and that's the show. Thank you very much, guys. It's still News Institute Sports. Follow us on all our social media handles at News Institute Sports on Instagram, at News Institute Sports on YouTube, and of course at News Instanta on Facebook. Till we meet again next week. My name is Sajid Adebo Ali. Have a wonderful one.